Let me start with a hypothetical example. Let's say you run a law firm and you just won a big contract, and your rival firm starts talking about how your partner is laundering money for the mob through the client that they've just taken. What do? You know, rival firm, bunch of scumbags anyway, cheapskates. Um, they're trying to ruin your reputation, so you don't have to pay attention to that. Great. But then it turns out that your partner has a person on his team who has been accused of handing out envelopes of cash to influence jurors, and there is a government official on video making the statement that this is what your partner's team member is doing. Then another whiz kid shows up, looks through your books. A mathematical whiz kid shows up looks through your books, and say these numbers don't make any sense. Right? What do you do? Do you get at least I need to look at what they're saying, or do you say, they're just trying to smear me? Then it turns out that your friend, your partner, has been bullying a small law firm somewhere out in New Jersey over some matter about ruining them. And then it also turns out that your partner's son, who is not a lawyer, is employed by that law firm as a lawyer and being paid huge amounts of money. Now, do you want to look into whether your partner's laundering money for the mob? Or do you still carry on as, rival firm talking shit, doesn't matter, we're the good guys? What do you do in this hypothetical scenario? Right? So what do you think Biden is doing? What do you think the Democrat Party is doing? Hillary Clinton. Forget about them. They're already smeared. But Obama is the clean guy, right? Clean, honest. No, near $1 million contracts with Goldman Sachs for speaking fees, right? I presume. But none of them who are claiming a moral high ground in politics or in the news media or in academia are standing up and saying, we at least need to look at this. If this is the thing out there, we need to lift the lid and see what's out there so that we can talk to people and say, you know what? Hey guys, it is clean, it is honest, and you're good. We're good. You don't have anything to worry about. Or you say nothing. You don't acknowledge it. People on CNN, MSNBC, and all these, they make The Guardian, the BBC, they all make fun of the claims that your friend is a crook, and that's what they do about Trump, right? So nobody in the news, has journalism died? What happened to the Bob Woodwards of the world? Watergate, remember? These journalists, they get after it and they dig shit out and they fuck up the people who are doing it. That was journalism, right? So where are the journalists today saying, they're digging? Because they don't give a shit if Trump wins, if Biden wins, they want the truth because that is their dharma, we call it. Their faith, their belief, their creed, that they're after the truth. It doesn't matter. They don't care who wins, who loses. They want to get at the truth and tell the people the truth because that's what their holy and sacred responsibility in free society is. As in the First Amendment of the Constitution, the right to free speech, free association, free press. It is a guaranteed right. That is in the Constitution so that with that power, you go and find an information and bring it to the people so that democracy works. That's why free press is guaranteed. So are any of these people, in a non-partisan way, anyone gone into any of these events and said, you know what, if there is a mathematician saying that these ballot numbers don't make sense, I'm going to talk to these 5 mathematicians and I'm going to talk to a few of them in countries that don't like Biden, smart people in Hungary, Brazil, I don't know, that I'm going to go to these universities and find out and listen to them, and I'm going to compare what the people of various mathematicians are saying about each other's work and dig out what is going on here, and I'm going to tell the people. Do you see that? Nope. Anybody gone to Ilhan Omar's district to talk to that, was it a deputy sheriff or something, or somebody in the sheriff's office, I forget, in the Project Veritas video, where this guy, a government official, is saying that Ilhan Omar is running a racket where she is handing out money in cash packets to people to go and harvest ballots. Nobody, From Watergate and Bob Woodward to today, where nobody is investigating to find out what the hell is going on, this way or that way. If at this point, it doesn't even matter if there was fraud or not. What matters is that these motherfuckers are not talking about the accusation. They're acting like nothing's going on. And in the meantime, Biden is like, appointing his cabinet picks. And you look at the cabinet picks and they all turn out to be Bush, Obama year, warmongering, China appeasing whores. While he's doing this, we are making the noise this is going on. People are screaming at fraud. And journalists don't want to talk about it. And the politicians are happy to not talk about it. If the New York Times and CNN are not putting the fire under Biden's ass to explain what the heck is going on, or why they are not, where the questions are, what do these statistics say? How come dead people are voting? How come out of X many votes, so many were like 98% were for Biden? What the heck is going on? Why are these people not going out there and finding out shit for us to tell? Not us, American citizens, but really all of us. Because you see, why is an Indian here getting passionate? India is a constitutional democratic republic. So is the United States. And the two should have been tied together right from the point that the Republic of India got its independence from the British. But it wasn't. India fell in the Marxist camp, controlled by the Soviet Union and with lots and lots of allegiances to communist China. And from that time to this time, it has taken our current Prime Minister and his government and a new vision of India that we no longer have to compromise with and fuck around with these communist, amoral, unthinking, cruel sons of bitches who run communist regimes. And that we can make a partnership with a country in freedom that will change the world the way freedom should have. And so now if Trump comes along, suddenly he's appointing people who are ready to suck China's cock, writing articles like, I'm going to make another video about that, making articles about peaceful coexistence and encouraging China's rise for the sake of peace. This is the fucking shit that they were talking about the Clinton years and the Bush years and the Obama years. They're still talking that shit. Has the world not gone to hell enough for you to fucking say, wait, at the very least, you know what? We need to look at where we've been for the last 30 years. You may be for Clinton, and you may be for Bush, and you may be for Obama, or some of them and not the others. But the least you owe the people is a conversation. Let us analyze where we have arrived since the Soviet Union fell. They don't want to talk about it. None of them. They want to go back to what they started doing. You see, the Soviet Union falls. Suddenly, globalization, let's go make money in China, do away with borders, wokeness, blah, 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 blah. And then China's wealth suddenly exploded to a point where now everyone's afraid of, except for Trump, has anyone got the guts to say fuck China among the world leaders? Like to their face, fuck China. Not one, only Trump. That should tell you the power of China. You think people are being nice or kind or because they're not racist? No, it's because China has become so powerful that no one dares say anything. Till the 1990s, every motherfucker in Hollywood was going to Tibet, going to ashrams run by exiled Tibetans and getting into Buddhism and talking to the world about Buddhism. In the 1990s, Soviet Union's gone, China gets rich. That's when the last movies on Tibet are made by Hollywood. After that, Hollywood wants to earn money in China, silence in Tibet. These corrupt motherfuckers, it did happen. Are we going to talk about it? Or are you just going to say orange man bad, racist, misinformation, fake news, blah, 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 while all this shit goes on and on and on and now looks like it's going to continue going on? And you're going to say, no fraud. We didn't even look at anything because these people are all bigots. You see, what they've been doing for the last 30 years, that is now their sole model. They will do, even at this moment, they will do what they have been doing quietly for 30 years. Which is to say, globalization good, business in China good, white man bad, gun owners bad, racism bad, misogyny bad, let's make friends. That's what they're saying. And in the meantime, every piece of motherfucking shit about the communists and the people who are the moral choices of the people who are doing business with the communists, not to be talked about. And if people are getting upset, earlier it was, whether it was water in Flint, whether it was jobs being lost to China, whether it was companies being repeatedly bought, loaded with debt, and then bankrupted, and people sent out of money while the Wall Street people sucked everything out of them before sending off those jobs to China. People screamed and screamed and screamed, and they just carried right on doing nothing different. Nothing different. And now they're doing exactly the same thing. We're not going to think of anything differently. We're not going to acknowledge that you exist. The problems that you say exist, the issues that you're upset about, we're just going to say that you're crooked, racist, white, nationalist, xenophobic, Islamophobic motherfuckers and should not be listened to. That's what they've been doing, and they're doing this right now. And if at this moment it works, then either they've won, and then there is no second chance after this. I don't know how else to say this. This must not work. If either the courts, either the public discourse, forget about the courts, it's not for me to say what the US courts should decide, but either the public discourse in the US should become so anxious about this, whether it's the news media, whether it's the people, whether it's the businesses, whether it's the politicians, public discourse in America must now become so anxious about this accusation of fraud that truths must come out. Truth must come out. If Biden, if Trump has lost honestly, then that must come out. People who see Trump having lost, that they must understand that these are the votes and they have been tallied, even if it is honest. And then when they say, okay, fine, but then what about the role of X, Y, Z, A, B, C? Then those truths must come out. They went after Michael Flynn. Why? Russia for 4 years. Why? How was the coordination done? Who were there excesses? What were the excesses? Who authorized the excesses? Who has paid the price for the excesses? Now this is the time for America to face a truth and reconciliation moment. If that does not happen, bad things are coming. Because I don't see, now, bad things could be many. I'm not saying civil war. It could be civil war. It could also be civil disobedience. It could also be a Democrat Party that in its victory then fractures between the various factions who've been collaborating for this final victory. They keep talking about Russian influence. Actually, Washington has influence from the Saudi Arabians, Saudi Arabia, Israel, China, huge amounts in China, Pakistan, Qatar, everybody who has either a very important strategic role in the great game that America plays in the world, or have huge amounts of money with which they can influence the economies and political choices of democratic countries are involved in Washington and control everything. Not everything, but they have a say. And the New York Times and the CNN and the Fox News and Wall Street Journal, none of them tell you why did the Iraq War happen? What were the interests? What interests drove certain decisions? Nobody ever tells you anything, but yet free press, informed electorate. No, you're not informed. The press is not free. They've been running a fucking racket. And Trump broke that racket, and now they're trying to Trump kicked their house down, and now they're trying to put all the pieces back in together and get him out and make it run as much before they seal it all up and make it back together the way it was. And in this, every motherfucker who claims to be honest, you must understand is not honest, because, they don't have to like Trump. They don't have to like me. They don't have to like anybody who likes Trump. They don't have to like white supremacists. They don't have to like white people. They don't have to like men. They don't have to like anything that is for Trump. But at the very least, they owe themselves and the world, humanity, and truth is that at least we now look at what the truth is. If you're not looking for the truth, then your claims of moral supremacy are fundamental lies of the sort that Biden is telling, that New York Times is telling, which is that, we will just not look at the truth so that we can get our way. In which case, then what you're selling shit about peace and love and harmony and justice and welfare, that's all horseshit that you sell to uninformed people so that they keep giving you they stay in peace and silence while you and your billionaire friends and foreign governments all get together and loot the world and loot the people and get them killed as it suits you. So this really is a time for truth and reconciliation, or man, things are going to be bad. It may not be civil war. It may be that China wins and then America's done. Is that what you want? Save America. Make America great again. Keep freedom burning.